broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
So we say, hey, we're not gonna break. Yeah, we're standing here today, 'cause it's more than just a game. It's our DNA.
It's Nestor Iraconda! What a goal from one end of the pitch to the other! Nestor Iraconda, you star!
Water whipped in again. This time the header is in! Japan find another equaliser!
Shot comes in, and Canada have found the goal. And it is that man, Kyle Larin.
It's Conor Metcalf! Oh my goodness! What a goal by Conor Metcalf!
This is more than just a game. It's our DNA.
Live from New York, New Jersey Stadium, it's the round of 32, France versus Sweden, on SEN's coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Round of 32 action continues today with France and Sweden from the New York, New Jersey Stadium. The winner of this game progresses to the round of 16, where they'll take on Paraguay after their shock win yesterday against Germany in the penalty shootout. This is the second of 3 games today, and it is our match of the day broadcast on SEN. Recapping the earlier results today, it was a 2-1 win for Norway. Erling Haaland scoring the 86th-minute winner in a win against the Ivory Coast. So Norway, the first European team through to the round of 16. It was Antonio Nusa who scored just before half-time to give Norway the 1-0 lead going into the break. Amad Diallo from Manchester United scored a great solo goal to bring the game to parity. And then Erling Haaland scored late for Norway to send them through to the round of 16. France and Sweden is our game today. Coming up later on in the day is Mexico and Ecuador from 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Mexico, the number 14 ranked team in the FIFA rankings, against Ecuador, the number 23 ranked team. And at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, the atmosphere there is bound to be electric as Mexico try and get to that fabled 5th game. But France and Sweden is our match for broadcast today. France getting through the group stage undefeated and are entering the knockouts as the favourite in the tournament. They beat Senegal 3-1 in their first game, with Kylian Mbappe scoring twice, Bradley Barcola scoring once. A 3-0 win over Iraq in the second game in Philadelphia. Mbappe scoring twice again, and Ousmane Dembélé scoring once. And then the last game against Norway, a 4-1 win, and Ousmane Dembélé's hat-trick helped them through to a comfortable victory. Desiree Doué also getting on the score sheet. So all of those front 4 players have had an impact in their game so far. Mbappe's handful of goals, Dembélé scored, Barcola scored, Doué scored, and Michael Olise has stitched together 4 assists for his tournament so far. And right now, the FIFA power rankings, I don't exactly know what the formula is for the power rankings, but Olise is near the top of those power rankings for players across this World Cup. And he has been incredible so far for the French national team. Didier Deschamps is back in the camp as well, so he missed the last game for France. He went back home to France to be with his family after the passing of his mother, and the funeral has happened now. So condolences spread around the sporting and footballing world to the Deschamps family, but he's back now in the camp at the World Cup. I believe Guy Stéphane, the assistant manager, still having a pretty heavy hand in proceedings right now, just as Deschamps settles back into the camp. Interesting to see Guy Stéphane, the assistant coach, gathered all these starting 11 players together in the pre-match just a few moments ago and gave them a big team talk, a big rev up before the commencement of this game here in New York, New Jersey. France are just making their way down the tunnel right now before walking out onto the 32-degree pitch today. It's being baked in the sun of New York, and the Swedish national team just starting to crawl their way through the tunnel as well, led by Victor Lindelof, the captain. They've kept the change in goalkeeper from the last game to this game, so Jakob Vidal-Zetterström is going to be the starting goalkeeper. He was essentially the third-choice goalkeeper coming into this tournament for Sweden. The initial number 1 was Christopher Nordfeldt, who started the first 2 games. They dropped him for the 3rd game, and Vidal Zetterström did so well that they are deciding to keep him. So interesting to have a change in goalkeeper halfway through the tournament. But Graham Potter, the English manager of Sweden, is sticking by his guns and keeping Vidal Zetterström in between the posts. Sweden's tournament so far, their first group game was against Tunisia, a 5-1 win, with Yasin Ayari scoring twice. Alexander Isak, Victor Gyökeres, and also Matthias Svanberg getting on the score sheet. In the second game, they lost 5-1, so all the good work they did against Tunisia was undone by the 5-1 loss to the Netherlands. Anthony Elanga on the score sheet, and then a 1-1 draw against Japan was their third and final group stage game as well. Elanga also on the score sheet once again. The two teams are in the tunnel. Our referee for today is Danny McAlee from the Netherlands, the 43-year-old, who is the last remaining Curaçaoan at the World Cup, if you can believe. He was actually born in the Curaçao on the islands, so they made their debut at the World Cup. It's the Dutch referee is from Willemstad, so they've still got one little remaining remnant of Curaçao football here at the World Cup. The two teams are waiting in the tunnel, and they are now making their way out onto the park here at New York, New Jersey, in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the home of the New York Giants and New York Jets in the NFL. Jordan Canellis with you here for Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And as the teams emerge from the tunnel and make their way around the sideline and up to the halfway line around the centre circle, it is a pleasure to welcome into our coverage for the first time at this World Cup, Mark Bosnich. Morning to you, Bozza. How's things?
Good morning to you, Jordan. Absolutely fantastic. Already another team out and another team into the round of 16 this morning. Norway going through against Ivory Coast. And now we've got arguably the favourite coming up against the team in Sweden who have been inconsistent, to say the least. But some marvellous scenes here, a wonderful stadium, and looking forward to this game.
What are some of the strengths that France have displayed so far in this World Cup that you're looking out for today?
Have we got half an hour? Look, we know about their attacking prowess. We also know about their defensive prowess as well. This wonderful spell that they've had, 2018 winners, 2022 runners-up, it's been a mixture of both. They have got unbelievable speed up front, and that's why they're okay to draw the opposition teams onto them and to surrender the majority of possession. They like to be in possession if they can do, but they're not too particularly bothered if they're not. And like I said to you, if you want me to keep going on, obviously the man up front, Kylian Mbappe, who's been outstanding thus far, and right next to him as well, Ousmane Dembele. Barcola's starting today, and obviously Elise from Bayern Munich. Those four up front are absolutely fantastic. In Rabiot and Tchouameni, they've got the two holding midfielders that will hold things together. But in those four players up front, like I said, they really won't mind if they have to sit, if the opposition's sitting deep, if the opposition is coming onto them. They've got the weapons to take care of everything.
The two teams have made their way around the centre circle for the pre-game ceremony and the national anthems. And so as the strains of Shakira's official theme song of this World Cup die down, we now take you down to ground level for the national anthems of these two teams. In the round of 32, it'll be, I think, the French national anthem up first.
France. Please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem of Sweden.
The national anthems of France and Sweden ahead of this clash here at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, where the final will be held in a couple of weeks from now, but that is still a while away and still so much knockout football to happen between now and then. Let's take a look to the starting 11s for these two teams. Didier Deschamps back in the French camp this week after returning from the unfortunate passing of his mother during the last week. So he's back now with the French national team, and he's put this lineup out on the park with 4 changes that have been made. A 4-2-3-1 formation. Marc Magnon is the goalkeeper. The back four of Jules Koundé at right back, Deo Upamecano at centre half. William Saliba comes back into the team, replacing Maxence Lacroix. And at left back, Luca Digne will come back in to replace Theo Hernandez. In the centre of midfield, Aurélien Tchouameni will partner Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot comes back in, replacing Manu Kone. The attacking midfield line on the right wing, Ousmane Dembélé. Through the middle, Michael Olise and Bradley Barcola is into the team, replacing Desiree Doué, while Kylian Mbappe will captain the team from the front line. A 3-4-3 formation for Sweden. Graham Potter is the manager. He's made 2 changes coming into this game today. He's kept the same goalkeeper from the last game as well, so he made the change halfway through the group stage between the posts, and Jakob Vidal-Zetterstrom will be the goalkeeper again. The back three of Gustav Lagerbielke, Victor Lindelof, the captain in the middle, and Gabriel Gudmundsson on the left side. The right wing back will be Daniel Svensson, who comes into the team for Bernhardsson. The 2 central midfielders, Lucas Berival gets his first start at this World Cup. The young Tottenham midfielder, Yassine Ayari, will be alongside him. And on the left side will be Elliot Stroud. And the front three, Anthony Elanga and Alexander Isak, will flank Victor Gyökeres up front. So you've got a full front three of English Premier League players, Newcastle, Liverpool and Arsenal represented in Sweden's front line. Our referee is Danny McAlee. Mark Bosnich, who are the key players to look out for today for Sweden? We've spoken about France, but what does Sweden need to do to be positive in this game?
Well, we spoke about before the inconsistency of Sweden. Obviously, they won one game 5-1. They were beaten 5-1. Like you said, they made the change to their goalkeeper with Zetterstrom, I hope I said that right, coming in for North Strait. The 3 up front, once again, Elanga for Newcastle. He's been excellent this tournament thus far. Gyökeres, we all know from Arsenal. He had a really good season with Arsenal. He'll be an absolute high. He'll be vital to him. And, of course, Alexander Isak, who spent the majority of the season injured. Those 3 up front are going to be vital for Sweden. The other man as well, who's played also as a defensive midfielder during this tournament, but is vastly experienced. He's at the centre of defence today. He's captain. Is Lindelof, who used to play for Manchester United, obviously plays for one of my other old clubs in Aston Villa right now. He's going to be vital to make sure that he keeps this team very, very compact. You mentioned they look to start in a 3-4-3. I think a lot of times you'll see 5 at the back because of those attacking players that I mentioned before with France are going to press them and they're going to stretch them so much. But France, like I said, a team who are not Didier Deschamps now facing us. We send our deepest sympathies to himself and his family for the passing of his mother. He's back in town. In terms of France, you look at the possession stats, you know, I think they're averaging something like 41%. When they won the World Cup in 2018, they were very similar. It was about 43%. They're okay if they have to sit back because it allows space in behind the opposition defence. So those are the key players for me, for Sweden. They will all have to contribute if they are to pull off which would be one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history here today.
Former Socceroos goalkeeper, Premier League goalkeeper Mark Bosnich is our expert on today's call of France and Sweden, our match of the day in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, brought to you by Valvoline, the original engine oil. The 2 teams are out there ready to go for this round of 32 clash. The winner takes on Paraguay in Philadelphia in a couple of days in the round of 16. One of the shock winners yesterday at the World Cup. Paraguay in the penalty shootout. Morocco winners yesterday as well. Brazil defeated Japan early this morning. It was Norway who got past the Ivory Coast in a 2-1 win. Erling Haaland scoring the winning goal. Later today, Mexico and Ecuador will round out the day's play. But the final countdown is on in East Rutherford, New Jersey. On a sun-soaked day, 32 degrees, warm weather out there for these 2 European teams to go at it. And we are underway with Sweden kicking us off, going from left to right in the first half. Sweden in their yellow shirts, blue shorts and yellow socks, while the French national team in their navy blue shirts, white shorts and red socks. And Sweden launched the first ball forwards, and it's knocked out of play To begin proceedings by Luca Digne, who goes down in the challenge in the first 20 seconds, and a throw-in coming up for France. I mentioned in the pre-game 2 Arsenal players going head-to-head up in the final third for Sweden, with Victor Gyökeres and William Saliba, 2 club teammates. Also 2 Aston Villa teammates out on the park as well, with Luca Digne, the left-back for France, and Victor Lindelof for Sweden, but they'll be at opposite ends of the field for most of the day. And the first spell of possession is for France. Here's Luca Digne over the halfway line. Chips it over the top, looking for the short run of Barcola, who just runs out of room, and Kylian Mbappe tries to help him out on that sideline. Out of play for a throw to Sweden.
Yeah, we've already seen Sweden at the moment in the mid-block. We've already seen Mbappe threatening to go in behind. That makes such a difference because defenders know how quick he is, and they automatically will take a little bit. There's a free kick for Sweden, at least 5 to 10 metres, a little bit deeper than they normally do, which gives the rest of the team a lot more room to play.
Sweden's free kick just ahead of the halfway line. The first coming together with the Arsenal teammates, the 2 number 17s, Gyökeres and Saliba. Saliba dragging down Gyökeres with his arm around his shoulder blades. Sweden go backwards from that free kick. Zetterström will send it forward again down the right channel in the Elanga direction. Digne heads it into midfield. Elise just lost out in that battle to Bergvall, who turns around and sends Sweden to the broadcast sideline just beneath the commentary position on the right for Sweden. We'll go backwards to Lagerbielke, and then behind the centre circle to Victor Lindelof, who starts to look out to his left and will play a vertical pass down the left channel for Gyökeres, who's out there with Saliba. Gyökeres collects it on the edge of the box, plays it centrally towards Isak, whose opening shot of the game rolls into the hands of Mike Magnon. A shot on target, but an easy collect for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, good start from Sweden, but good ball then from Lindelof. Gyökeres has done a really good job. Isak in support. Just putting a warning sign to France right now and say, look, we're not just going to defend. We know we're going to have to score. So we think that we can do, and this is how we're going to go about it, just to put them on notice.
Aurelien Tchouameni just copping one there from Alexander Isak, who left a little foot in and trod on the outside of Tchouameni's foot. So a free kick to France, halfway inside their own half. They get play rolling again. 3 minutes into this game. William Saliba on the ball for France. Aurelien Tchouameni dropping in between the 2 centre halves. Plays it out to his right towards Elise. Jules Koundé has gone forward here for France. He's got Dembélé on the ball right now and halfway. Koundé still staying up in a high position. Elise's out near the right sideline as well. Shares a short pass with Dembélé, who just skips around Bergvall. Bergvall recovers, and then Dembélé goes to ground. Just taking a little bit of contact, and a free kick going France's way.
That's foul there. It was just a little bit late. Danny McAlady, one of the best referees in Europe, blowing his whistle. A decent position this is for France. Most important thing in these type of positions is to put the ball in between the goalkeeper and the last line of defence.
Elise will send this one in. He does put it right onto the 6-yard box, headed up by Saliba. Upamecano couldn't quite connect, and Sweden will knock it away out towards France's left side. France will let it roll out, and a throw-in coming up for Luca Digne. Still high in the final third here for France. Throws it backwards to Elise. France will bring it back into the centre of the park. Upamecano to Elise. Tchouameni, all short, close-range passes here. Elise again. He's got the entire Swedish team ahead of him. Goes out to the right for Upamecano, and now it's Mbappe near the corner of the 18-yard box. Plays it wide towards Dembélé. Mbappe was trying the little sidestep manoeuvre around Ayari. Ayari takes it away from him and sends it down the right side to Elanga, who chases after it, collects it near the sideline, and Sweden are in French territory right now. Elanga comes infield, stops, slows, shares a 1-2 with Ayari. Tries to spread it out to the left, but Elise came in and recovered, and France win it back in midfield. Elise will ping a vertical pass forwards. Chasing after it is Barcola. Zetterström comes across and pumps it away. The Swedish goalkeeper out of play for a throw.
Two good examples of the pace from both sides. Ilanga, one of the quickest players at the World Cup, and then straight up the other end for France as well. Just making sure that both defences understand that they're playing against some serious pace today.
France 0, Sweden 0, 5 minutes played in this round of 32 match for Valvoline, the original engine oil. France in front of the centre circle is Tchouaméni. Koundé to the right touchline to Dembélé, back inside to Koundé again. Playing in short confines, short triangular passes, France. Tchouaméni will back away, retreats into midfield, passes to his left for Rabiot. France will try the left channels now. Rabiot runs into a dead end, and he's run over the top of Gyökeres.
Taking the pressure off there, Rabiot. No need to foul. Always important when you're in that type of situation. And that goes for defending teams, but especially an attacking team. There's no pressure whatsoever in terms of having to put a foul on there for Rabiot. Just stay on your feet because the opposition want you to foul them so they can just regroup.
Zetterström sends it downfield to the Swedish goalkeeper, and another shout for a foul there for Gyökeres, not given this time though by Danny McAlee. And France will try and piece something together moving up to the halfway line. Elise was clattered into by Lucas Bedival, and so this will going France's way.
Look at this one again. I thought this was 50-50, but let's just take a look. No, it was a foul, understandably, and well done to the referee as well, stamping his authority early to make sure that he won't stand for any nonsense. Much rather referees do that earlier on in the game.
It's twice that Yassine Ayari has given away a foul in this opening stanza, as the ball in behind was a threatening looking one, and Mbappe might have been a fraction offside but never chased it all the same. Comes back to the goalkeeper. And now Lagerbielke for Sweden. France sitting up high, making Sweden really think about which pass they play, and very cautious in their build-up from defence. Comes out to their right for Daniel Svensson. And then a loose ball played into midfield. Won back by France, only momentarily though. Tchouaméni gives it away. Elanga threads it in down the inside right for Isak. Saliba gets back quickly. And Magnon will chip it over the top towards France's left to Digne. And now Rabiot through midfield. Approaches the circle. Hear the Allez les Bleus chant for the French support. I haven't heard it too much actually at this World Cup. It's nice to hear a familiar chant at World Cups past. Emerge at this one here.
You like that chant, Joey? I can just tell in your voice. When you said it. I can just tell it. I was waiting for you to break out in it.
Allez les Bleus. Got no French allegiance. I'll just put it out there. No bias here.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We all get attracted to certain things in life.
How good was the Viking row this morning as well? They did it again.
Imagine if they win against Brazil. Gosh. I think they'll row all the way back to Norway.
Martin Odegaard leading the Viking row. The captain of Norway after the game was magnificent. Luca Digne on the left sideline for France in front of the French dugout. We'll go back to William Saliba. Nearly 10 minutes gone here in the round of 32 between France and Sweden. No score yet for Valvoline, the original engine oil, broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of this World Cup. Here is Tchouaméni on the right for France. Trying to poke some holes in the Swedish defensive structure right now. They'll spread it out to the left. Digne comes back in field towards Rabiot. And it's taken off his toes, and now Sweden will turn and try and piece something together. Here's Isak, plays the ball in behind. Gyökeres powers his way onto it. He's on the right side, has to retreat to Svensson. Squares it in field. France have got their numbers back. Sweden committing numbers forward now. And the field shifts to Sweden's favour. Here's Svensson on the right. He's being ushered away towards the sideline, away from the 18-yard box. Goes backwards to Bedival, who stops. Lagerbielke to Ayari. Bedival again to Ayari, who turns and goes Looks forward, tries to wriggle his way through the gaps, and Gyökeres tried to lay it off to Ayardi, hoping he'd continue his run, which he didn't. And France see it away, out of play for a throw.
10 minutes gone, a pattern appearing, but for both sides, to be fair. Like as the third time Sweden have won the ball back and then gone immediately at the French side, and Ayardi then just trying for the 1-2, just got denied at the edge of the box. Interesting to note as well, with no indoor stadium and temperatures at 32 degrees Celsius, that both sides are really taking their time in the build-up. There's Arsene Wenger up there in the top right-hand corner.
Former Arsenal manager, French national, of course, and he's involved now in a lot of the sort of innovation side of things with FIFA, right? Modern stats and things like that.
He is. He's trying to... Go back to the action here.
Here's Stroud down the left for Sweden. He gets to the edge of the box. It was good defending from France to push him out wide. He took a shot or cross, which goes over the byline for a goal kick.
And Graham Potter there a little bit frustrated with the end delivery, but should be overall happy that Sweden, like I said, when they have the opportunity, are attacking France. You can't just sit back and hope for the best, because that is as risky as playing 7 or 8 players up front, even more so. Especially against a team of France's quality. You've got to show them that basically every time you lose the ball, that we're going to be a threat to you. It keeps them in two minds.
Michael Elise running at the Swedish defence, plays it to the feet of Mbappe. At the top of the D, the crowd rises. He passes sideways to Koundé. At the corner of the box on the right wing here for France. Dembélé collects, runs to the byline and runs out of room. It's good defending from Gabriel Goodmanson from Leeds United defender. Goal kick.
Very good defending. Didier Deschamps there, just watching on pensively. France tried to step it up a little bit there, but Sweden were a match for it. These first 20 minutes in a game, regardless if you're better than the opposition in terms of technically, they're always so important. You've got to show, if you're the better team like France, that you're willing to fight with Sweden. And from Sweden's perspective, they've got to show their little markers and say, we're willing to attack you when we lose it. And then both sides are doing that at this moment in time.
Magnon from his own byline clears away into midfield. Rebounds back to Sweden. Gyökeres headed it backwards in the Isak direction, who never chased after it, knowing he was offside. So France reclaim possession. Saliba will begin to stride forwards into midfield. He stops just short of the halfway line. Chouameni across to Jules Koundé, who's been a regular at right back now for France for a little while. Started as a centre-half. Has made the transformation to a right back for both club and country. Barcelona defender. Zetterstrom heaves it away into the open space at the other end of the field. Back to Mike Magnon of France. 2 goalkeepers end-to-end. Graham Potter, the coach of Sweden, who took over in October, so it hasn't even been 12 months with the national team, but started his coaching career in Sweden with Östersund and promoted them from the 4th division all the way up to the 1st division. Giving back to the country that helped him get his managerial start by taking them to the World Cup. Koundé out to the right for Ousmane Dembélé, who begins his run infield. He's being checked closely by Goodmanson again, and Dembélé, there's no room to go forward, so he just has to keep going sideways into the middle of the park. And now he passes to the left for Barcola. Near the edge of the box. Short ball to Kylian Mbappe, who's still a good 24 yards out. He tries to make his darting run inward. Ayardi keeps close checking of him. Gyökeres there as well. Mbappe out to the left for Luca Digne. To Rabiot in the left half space. Plays it into the feet of Mbappe. He's trying to wriggle his way forward, but he's being marked closely by Lagerbielke. Out to the right for Koundé, whose cross takes a big deflection and goes out for a corner for France.
France threatening. They're trying to keep, as they come forward, the centre completely free. So basically to say to Sweden, look, we'll leave your 2 defenders marking no one. What are you going to do? We're going to load up the wings and allow these boys to come inside. Sweden holding their shape really, really well.
Corner from France's right, an outswinger away from the goalkeeper, headed off by Lindelof, picked up by Luca Digne, who unloads with a long shot, and Jakob Vidal Zetterstrom got down low to his left and makes the good stop.
Important save for a goalkeeper, one that you entirely expect him to make. He lets that one in, and we're all saying what a blooper. But still, it's an important save this stage of the game. Help his confidence no end. Like I said, came in after the 5-1 defeat to the Netherlands. Has done well thus far.
Derby County goalkeeper in England's second division. This is just his 5th cap for the national team, so he's still very fresh to the setup. He's recovered from multiple concussions in his career to get some regular football now and be at this World Cup. The Swedish shot stopper.
Closing again, once again by France. They get the ball back.
Elise seeing a lot of it in the centre of the New Jersey Stadium here, East Rutherford, New Jersey, just over the river from Manhattan. France will go out to the left for Barkala. A little space to move in initially into the final third before Svensson closes it down. Goes in towards Mbappe, who's testing the goalkeeper again from long range, and then again goes straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
Nothing wrong with that. He's upset, obviously, with the strike. He didn't catch it cleanly. But one of the advantages of starting to shoot when people are in a deep block is that once it starts really testing the goalkeeper, what you'll find is some people will come out of that defensive block to close you down. When they come out of that defensive block to close you down, space appears.
Sweden desperate to keep that defensive shape as well. Try again through the middle. Elise goes out to the left for Luca Digna. Looking to tee up across. He feigns. He goes backwards to Elise. Inside left channel. Begins to stroll across and passes away to the right for Koundé. Koundé looking for Dembele. The turn was accosted there by Gudmundsson. And now Sweden will try and counter. Gudmundsson curls one up towards Gyökeres, who's being manhandled by Saliba. And that's a whistle in Sweden's favour.
Two teammates there at it. Gyökeres. I think they've both grabbed the whole. Look, Gyökeres has grabbed the whole of his shorts as well. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. See over there, his right hand.
What do you reckon they're saying to each other? Would there be much chatter, bit of sledging?
Yeah, no, I reckon 100%. Look, players go about it in different ways, Jordan. Sometimes they'll say to you, like sort of, nasty things. But a lot of times, a lot of players will say, like someone like myself would just like say something like, you know how good you are. You are so good. Just do anything to try to put you off. You are the best, by the way, yeah? And then you'll get others who will just turn around who don't like any talk and just turn around and say, would you shut up? And you go, what? I'm just saying how good you are.
Mark Bosnich, our expert here on SEN's coverage of the World Cup. So a long set piece to be whipped in here by Svensson. Left-footed delivery comes all the way in, out towards the back edge of the box. Lagerbielke, heavy touch. And France can stab it away. Lucas Bedival does very well in recovery. Wins it back for Sweden.
Great tackle.
Ayari will swing it in. It comes away to Chouameni, who backhills it into midfield. Elliot Stroud's pass is a little loose. Sweden have a momentary second chance, but only momentary. And Luca Digna wins it back for France.
Spoke about how France are comfortable with less possession, but in this game, 66% possession thus far.
Now Bradley Barkala finds a lane down the inside, running at the Swedish defence, finds a gap, Barkala, and his left-footed strike is over the crossbar. He weaved his way through the Swedish lines of defence. He found some space, and on the left side of the box on a slight angle, he couldn't hit the target. Goal kick Sweden.
That was a chance. Bradley Barkala showing his absolute quality. Coming back to what I said to you about how when France are attacking from an early stage, they leave that centre. There you go. You can see the bench knows it. They leave that centre clear. So one of these, Dembele, Barkala, Elise, even Mbappe, can make those runs. And once they get on a run, they're very difficult to stop. Chance.
And here is a chance for Kylian Mbappe. He's in behind. Flag stays down. Mbappe scores the game's opening goal, but will be denied by the offside flag. It did look suspect that he had that much space in behind the Swedish defence. The replay would tell us more, Bozza.
Oh, this is going to be close. Ooh. I think this could be a goal.
It might be a goal.
Clinical finish.
The flag went up quickly after the goal was scored, quote unquote, scored.
Yeah.
But the VAR should have a look at this. We haven't got any notification yet on the system, and they're going to play on. So it must be the semi-automated VAR buzzer.
Yeah, 100%.
A no goal to France. Did look very close, but still 0-0.
But that's the danger. And that will be on the minds of the Swedish defence. And they've got to be so vigilant. Because all of these four strikers had no chance there.
The first time we've really seen the field open up for France as well.
Yeah, they got them in transition. Like I said to you, they're comfortable in every way. This is why they're such a dangerous team. Comfortable with possession. If they haven't got possession, in transition when they win the ball back, because they've got that speed. And this is why it's so important, especially through the centre as well. Having speed out wide is one thing. Having speed through the centre is another.
Semi-automated onside replay is on the screen.
There you go. You can hear the PA in the background. Semi-automated VAR. Showing the crowd just how close it was. Oohs and ahs of the New Jersey crowd. Lagerbielke in front of the halfway line to Svensson, who's taking up position as the right wing back for Sweden, even though the left is his natural side. He's playing on the right today for the national side. Ball goes down the line and out of play as we get a look on our monitors here at the semi-automated, and it was half a torso in it.
And coming back to, we're talking about obviously Arsene Wenger, who's there at the game, who works for FIFA now. He would like to now install that there has to be daylight between the last defender and the attacker for it to be offside. And James Johnson, who was the ex-CEO of Australian football, who's now is now the Canadian CEO. They're going to implement it in the Canadian Professional League for this season, so that'll be interesting.
Do you like that?
I'm not sure about it. I had a word to him about it before the World Cup. I mean, he's and here comes the drink hydration break. He's a big fan of it. I'd like to see it in action first. You know, we like the advantage to go to the attackers, but not too much. You've got to find the balance. What do you think, Jordan?
I think it'd help eliminate those moments like we saw a couple of days ago with the
Iran disallowed goal.
Iran, but also who was the other one? Was it Ghana that had the goal late?
Yes,
I'm trying to think
was
now.
one, and obviously the one here today as well. With that would have been a goal.
Where it was
It'd be interesting. I'd love to hear from our listeners what they think about it.
Yeah, let us know.
But that's what Arsene Wenger's trying to install worldwide.
0433 98 11 16. So it'd help eliminate those moments where if you just have a toe offside, but like we saw the other day, the toe was offside, but the rest of his body was onside. So it's like, well, is it really offside? So I think there needs to be maybe, I don't know if it's daylight, but a middle ground somewhere.
Daylight. Well, that's what Arsene Wenger's trying to install, daylight. It'll be interesting to see, like I said, because the Canadian Professional League will install it. They're going to go with it. James Johnson is all for it. So we'll see how it goes, yeah?
First 20...
battle between the two Arsenal men, yeah?
Saliba and Jurkades.
Yeah.
Bit of wrestling going on there.
Yeah, there is.
He'll throw his weight around, won't he, Victor Jurkades? He's just
he does.
Try and negate Saliba. Upamecano has maybe been the best centre-back at this World Cup so far. He's been incredible.
Yeah, he's been up there. There's no doubt about it.
Hydration break here at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. It is France 0, Sweden 0. And a day where the hydration break probably is warranted with a 30-plus degree
100%
temperatures. Let's have a quick listen back to some of the highlights of the first 23 minutes of this encounter.
Chance.
And here is a chance for Kylian Mbappe, who's in behind. Flag stays down, and Mbappe scores the game's opening goal, but will be denied by the offside flag. Corner from France's right, an outswinger away from the goalkeeper, headed off by Lindelof, picked up by Luca Digne, who unloads with a long shot, and Jakob Vidal-Zetterstrom got down low to his left and makes the good stop. Now Bradley Barcola finds a lane down the inside, running at the Swedish defence, finds a gap, Barcola, and his left-footed strike is over the crossbar. The three big chances of the first half there as we bring you back live into East Rutherford, New Jersey, all going France's way. 3 attempts at goal. to Sweden's 1. The FIFA possession count, which also includes the in dispute count, has 55% for France, 37 to Sweden, and then 8% in contests, which I've only ever seen used at FIFA tournaments. Boswell, we had it at the last World Cup, and I don't reckon I saw the in dispute possession at all in the interim 4 years.
I was just thinking about that yesterday. I was just thinking, imagine like you say, two commentators like our good selves are there going, well, hang on a minute, let's dispute who's in possession right now.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're listening to, I'll be like, Boz, Jordan, what are you doing? Just get back to the action.
Hydration break is over, and we continue on here in the first half. France 0, Sweden 0, round of 32 matchup at the 2026 FIFA World Cup on SEN. Brought to you by Valvoline, the original engine oil and official supporter of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The winner of this game will play Paraguay in Philadelphia in about a week from now, who of course won yesterday's penalty shootout against Germany. Germany knocked out yesterday. The Dutch knocked out as well against Morocco in the penalty shootout. Brazil defeated Japan 2-1. Norway earlier this morning beating the Ivory Coast 2-1. Erling Haaland, who didn't do a lot in that game actually, did score the winner at the very end though. Popped up when it mattered in the 86th minute.
That was a classic, Jordan. He didn't do a lot, but he did score the winner. Oh, fair enough.
That's all he needs to do, isn't it? Just his goal scoring records. Exactly.
His job.
Be there at the right time.
He's been amazing, hasn't he, really? As we see, foul from Rabiot here.
Second
Sweden free kick.
He is second in the Golden Boot now as well, Erling Haaland, with 5 goals in this tournament, which is remarkable. Just one behind Lionel Messi. Free kick for Sweden. This will be sent in long and low by Ayari. Training ground move towards Alexander Isak, who was on the angle, but he was checked close. And his shot from the 6-yard box was tough to make. He did hit the target, but straight to the hands of the goalkeeper.
That was an excellent move. Saw the big space there. Like you said, definitely rehearsed on the training ground. Only thing that was missing was the finish. He knows, Alexander Isak, how close he was there. Excellent move.
Low along the ground, Ayari to Isak. Just couldn't get the power behind it. So the scores remain 0-0 between France and Sweden. France building up down the left. Mbappe out towards Elise, who's drifted wide for the time being. Back in field to Mbappe. Tries to turn to attack those central channels. Out towards Tchouaméni. And now Dembélé at the top of the 18-yard box away to the right. Takes a shot, hits a Swedish defender and goes out for a corner.
It's a corner. France are probing. Obviously, as they go deeper into Swedish territory, the Swedes completely drop off into a low block. France are doing everything, going from side to side to try to create space.
France take the corner short. Dembélé now puts it into the area, headed away by Lagerbielke. And back to midfield where Magnon is on the halfway line, the French goalkeeper. France will come back and ask the questions. Here's Rabiot. To the left for Luca Digne. It's forced backwards. Turns and comes forward again towards Mbappe, who's on the left touchline right now. Cuts in briefly on his right, then passes sideways to Tchouaméni. Further sideways towards Jules Koundé. And France have gone through midfield from left to right. And back into the centre again. Luca Digne as they just continue to shuffle the ball left to right. This is the 24th time these two sides have met. France lead the head-to-head. 12 wins. 6 wins for Sweden, 5 draws. Met a couple of times competitively. Last time was in the Euros of 2012, which Sweden actually won that game 2-0. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Sebastian Larsson scoring. That was quite a while ago now, 14 years ago. The last major tournament meeting. France happy to just keep the ball circulating around midfield before they can find an opening. Digne starts to run at the defence, passes sideways to Mbappe, who's forced to go backwards. Great ball. Pings a long ball away to the right. Chested down by Elise. He's got Koundé on the overlap. Sends a ball in himself, Elise. Headed up and away by Lagerbielke. And further on by Berduval. Sweden's defence getting a little deep there in their own 18-yard box. Mbappe plays it behind the lines. Rabiot shot saved by the foot of Zetterström. And it was the tall midfielder Adrien Rabiot who tested the goalkeeper that time. It's a corner to France.
Wonderful period of play from France. Great example of how to create time and space against a packed defence. And this from Zetterstrom was an excellent save. Slight deflection as well. Well played from Rabiot. Corner to France. They're pressing.
Elise's corner to the penalty spots. Just clipped away by Sweden. Picked up in midfield by Tchouameni. France again will start to poke around the edge of the final third. Neat little move out there from Mbappe. Koundé on the overlap. Cross blocks. Corner again for France.
After the hydration break, France have come back, put their foot down on the gas. Sweden are trying everything to keep up with them at the moment. This is important. They can try to keep the scores at 0 because France have got a great period here.
France building. Corner again. Headed up by Lindelof. Straight up and down to the right edge of the 18-yard area. Collected by Dembele. Koundé checked his run. Plays it to Mbappe. Hits the post. And Zetterstrom dives on top of it to save it on the goal line.
What a chance that was.
Mbappe hit the woodwork. Oh, it was so close as well and nearly rebounded to a French teammate too, and Sweden escape.
Another wonderful example of how to create time and space and chances against a packed defence. Koundé getting in behind. Zetterstrom did well though. He kept on going. Mbappe didn't quite get it like he wanted to. But Sweden hanging on by their fingernails at the moment.
Mbappe threw his arms out to his side like, what more do I need to do? Here he is again, Kylian Mbappe, stepping over the ball on the left edge of the box. His cross took a deflection high, and Sweden will clear it into midfield, but France just keep recycling. Here's Saliba out to Koundé, and now Dembele with two defenders blocking his path forward. Waits for Koundé to overlap, ignores him then, goes into midfield for Rabiot. He's about 30 yards out, takes the shot as well, Rabiot. Didn't expect him to shoot from there, but he got pretty close, just over the crossbar.
Like I said before, no problem from shooting from there. Now, coaches would tell you when they, especially when they do their license, if here's that chance again, didn't quite get it. Mbappe, Zetterstrom did well, but to keep going as a goalkeeper and it hits the post. Coaches will tell you when they go to do their coaching courses that one of the things that they say to you is that if you can reduce the opposition team from hitting long shots, that means you've done your job. Yes. But if they start shooting and it gets dangerous, like I said, it forces players to come out of that position of that deep block. So you can understand exactly what France are doing there.
Expert thoughts of former Socceroo Mark Bosnich here on SEN's coverage of the World Cup, brought to you by Valvoline, the original engine oil. France 0, Sweden 0, 33 minutes elapsed in the first half. Round of 32 knockout game at the World Cup. Sweden just left that one for Zetterstrom as France tried to probe down the right. Zetterstrom...
I don't know why he didn't pick that one up.
I know, it came into the area and he decided to boot it away. France get easy possession back. Here's Rabiot in midfield. He goes to the left for Barcola. He's got Digne on the overlap. Digne stops his run on the line of the defence. He's back into Rabiot, who's had a few shies at goal now. Tchouameni sideways to Upamecano. Out to the right now, France go. Koundé to Dembele. Dembele begins to drift infield. Elise keeps the width out wide to the right. Little step over and pushes towards the corner flag, and then he stops, puts his foot on the ball again. And that pass from Mbappe just a little too shallow. Bedival, in fact it was Gyökeres who just got knocked over. Free kick Sweden. They need to release a bit of pressure here as well, Bozza.
I was about to say that. Exactly right, Geordie. Once again, Gyökeres doing a great job for his team, winning a foul. But once again, France, it takes the pressure off Sweden committing a foul in that situation. No need for that whatsoever. Girls enjoying the football.
Sunglasses on.
Yep.
Bright, glary day in the eastern parts of the United States. Sweden will get it forwards. It's a very loose pass from the left from Stroud straight to the goalkeeper, and France will come back again. Sweden sitting in a mid-block right now. They begin to retreat as Mbappe runs at the defence, tries to split the gap between the defenders towards Barcola. The rebound comes the way of Rabiot. High one towards Dembele. The bicycle hits the post. The rebound is missed.
Amazing.
Incredible
Amazing. So
acrobatics.
unfortunate. That was amazing play.
It was Elise who had the initial overhead kick. Incredibly gymnastic effort from Elise, 18 yards out, overhead, hit the base of the post, and then Dembele on the rebound sprays it wide. Unbelievable, Bozza.
Oh, amazing play from Elise, so unlucky. And then Dembele with the rebound, oh, that was only half a metre wide. Sweden hanging on, I wouldn't say by fingernails anymore.
Elanga sends it in for Sweden, and nearly Alexander Isak at the other end. Just needed a flicking touch to get that one past the goalkeeper. It went fizzing past his boots and out of play.
I just want to say, I was about to say, not hanging on by their fingernails, Sweden, anymore, but by a string. But, again, fair play to them. Like I said at the start, they come back up the other end and still provide a threat. That's so important, because when you're playing in a team that's dominating so much, you don't want to have to worry about defending. You just want to worry about how to break them down. When they keep providing a threat, you're in two minds. And that's one thing, like I said, to show from Sweden, that as much as you've thrown at us, you've hit the post twice, missed some good chances. Oh, here we go again. That's a foul.
Sweden.
Danny McAlee refused to blow the whistle there. That'll be interesting to see in replay. But well done to Sweden for keep providing that threat, especially after being under so much pressure.
Yes, coming together now between the two sets of players as Michael Elise came running at Victor Lindelof. Lindelof dropped in and took out the legs of Elise. It was a pretty dangerous tackle from Lindelof.
It was. He did get the ball, but he kept on going through. So it doesn't matter if you get the ball, you keep going through. He did do that. That's dangerous. Fortunate there, Lindelof.
Yeah, coming straight at the shins of Elise with force from Lindelof. Elise's back up with a little hobble. And no card shown by Danny McAlee.
Outstanding.
There's a replay
Elise.
of the bicycle from the scissor kick from Michael Elise. So still, somehow, the score is 0-0.
That rebound from Dembele, he knows on his weaker foot, his left foot, half a metre wide, if that.
Intensity beginning to increase in this game with still about 10 or so minutes to go in the first half, including injury time. We've played nearly 38 minutes of football. France ahead of the halfway line. Upamecano over to Dembele, dropping down that right channel. Saliba to the left now for Digne. Mbappe out there. He gets a little shove from Lucas Berival. Free kick, France. 20-year-old central midfielder from Tottenham.
Good player. Very good player, but that was a foul. Again, no need. Those type of situations, you stay on your feet. This is now a very dangerous position for France. About 30 metres from goal, out there wide. Elise lining up. Again, what you should be aiming for is in between the goalkeeper and that last line of defence.
Elise from the left, swings it in back posts, rising header from Upamecano, stays in for a moment on the byline. Saliba's out there to chase it. Sweden have possession down near their own corner flag on the last line of defence. Shielding the ball is Stroud. He's got Saliba and Upamecano trying to bully him down, and free kick goes Sweden's way. Upamecano unpleased.
Poor decision by here's that ball, as I said, and he did it right in between the last line and the goalkeeper, and obviously in between the goals. And that was an excellent ball, a great header by Lindelof. They got a bit fortunate here. Upamecano came from a long way out to get the ball. And as I've said before, in that situation, the Swedish player wants you to foul him because he knows he's under severe pressure. Thought they got a bit fortunate. Assistant referee giving the free kick to Sweden.
Elliot Stroud, the left wing back, the only player in this Swedish team starting 11 to be from Sweden, to be playing in the Swedish league. Here's Mbappe, long range attempts. And again, testing the goalkeeper from outside the area. And it rolls straight into or bounces into the chest of Zetterstrom, the goalkeeper.
Another decent chance there. Somebody of Mbappe's quality. You can see he's mad at himself. Straight down the throat of Zetterstrom, the goalkeeper.
Zetterstrom clears into the Sweden attacking half, France's own half, and a whistle has gone Sweden's way. So now they can get the ball forward here, Sweden, to try and apply some pressure to France as we are into the final 5 minutes of regulation time of the first half.
Yeah, Rabiot a bit late there. Free kick now to Sweden.
The ball is about a metre or two inside the right sideline for Sweden, who are going from left to right in this first half as we describe the action to you. Ayari will send this one in long. Goes all the way deep to the back post. Too deep. Just miscalculated the dimensions of that free kick, Ayari. And France lose it off the boot of Michael Elise. Throw into Sweden.
Be so happy, Sweden, if they can go into the break at 0-0. France with hitting the post twice, other chances. Should be ahead and not.
Thrown in by Sweden, headed up and out by Upamecano. Kept in on the sideline by Elise, who begins to writhe away from the Swedish onslaught behind him and releases Mbappe. They can move forward here. Mbappe starts to sprint into the Swedish half. Lays it down the line to Barcola, cuts it back to the back post. Koundé was lurking and just getting there was Lindelof. Retrieved by Tchouaméni. Elise just misses. On the turn from the top of the D, swiveled and struck and just swinging wide.
Just wide once again. Wonderful play by France. So many options. So good to watch. Went to bring it back in with his left foot to curl back in. Didn't quite get the purchase on it to bring it back in. Sweden survive again.
Michael Elise, who had 4 assists to his name in the group stage. France scored 10 goals. He set up 4 of them. He's been one of the leading players in the last 12 months, really, since joining Bayern Munich in world football. Contender for the upcoming Ballon d'Or. Rabiot goes over the top to Barcola, who powers his way past Svensson. Svensson recovers, puts a toe in and sends it out. France 0, Sweden 0.
Lovely ball from Rabiot. That was one of them. Barcola made the run. It's like, come on, find me, and he did. Lovely little dink. The French supporters still in good spirits. They know they're well on top. Little bit of consternation, the fact they haven't put one of these chances away. Still a very, very long way to go.
Elise's corner to the penalty spot, headed away by Lindelof. And Koundé will get it back again for France outside the area. Plays it to the right side for Dembélé. Tried the cut back in the Tchouaméni direction. Slight deflection took it away from his path. And Sweden clear. High ball all the way to the halfway line for Rabiot. 12 attempts for France, 2 for Sweden. And most of those attempts for France have been in the last 10 to 15 minutes. As they dial things up here in New Jersey. The blue, white and reds in the crowd bouncing around. Says Koundé's in the area, tries to release a shot. He was in heavy traffic though and couldn't quite connect. The shot was blocked from close range. Sweden attempting a counter-attack. Down the left goes Stroud in the Isak direction. Is well covered by Upamecano. Was under very little pressure, it appears anyway. He was under immense pressure from Isak, but made it look cool, calm and collected on the surface.
Right now, Sweden needs somebody to hold the ball up front. They're being stretched left, right and centre. It's coming right towards the end of the half. The defenders need a bit of a breather.
Mbappe passes out to the right towards Elise. Back to Mbappe, back to Elise. Wriggles his way around, strikes, and the save from Zetterstrom. Elise again from range, testing the goalkeeper, and once again Bozza, a big hand from Zetterstrom, denies him.
Great save from Zetterstrom, right in the corner. This time Elise did get the purchase on it, and they're back again, France.
Short corner taken, here's Mbappe. Dinks his way around, and Kylian Mbappe gets the opener for France. A cute little move, a sidestep, a drop of the shoulder, and Kylian Mbappe makes the journey all the way over to Didier Deschamps. The team come together. They embrace their manager. After an emotional week for the French gaffer, he has his team in front, 1-0 right before half-time.
And deservedly so, Jordan. Wonderful goal. Some great play from France. It's only what they deserved. Zetterstrom with the save. Goes to the corner. The corner's taken short. Sweden haven't organised themselves. And Mbappe right in that pocket. Starts running, and that's a super finish. No chance for the goalkeeper whatsoever. On his right foot. Cuts in. And it's no more than they deserved. Super play from France.
It was a short corner, and all the big names were involved. Elise, little backwards pass to Dembélé to open up the angles. Dembélé played it in behind. And then Kylian Mbappe collected it on the edge of the 6-yard box. A step over, a shuffle to his right to open up a yard, and then puts it past the goalkeeper from left to right from close range. And Mbappe has his 17th World Cup goal. He goes past Miroslav Klose, and he's in pursuit of Lionel Messi at the top of the tree. It's France 1, Sweden 0. 3 minutes of injury time have been shown. We've played one of those 3 minutes already. Now Sweden will try and attack down the other end. Elanga sends it in. There's a chance here for Sweden. The shot is deflected and goes wide from Elliot Stroud, who tried to lace his boot through that one. And it's blazed away, but a proper good chance there for Sweden to equalise. Missed.
Huge chance. Now remember, after you score a goal, that next 10 minutes is important, because normally, because of the, a little bit of, there's the emotion of scoring the goal. Sometimes you can, defenses and players can get a little bit, sort of, not as great concentration. Those next 10 minutes, we used to always say, it's important not to concede. Well, I'll tell you what, France were very lucky there not to concede. What a disaster that would have been for them. They should be 2, possibly 3 up, and they nearly conceded a goal right after finally breaking through.
It was very close as well from Elliot Stroud. It was about 9 yards away, just outside the goalkeeper's area. They'll try again here, Sweden. There's still a minute to go. Their attack just comes to a brief end, picked up by Berdival. Heavy touch, he recovers. Out towards Elanga on the right. Tries to get past Digne, can't get past him the first time. He'll get the ricochet. Svensson, reverse ball to Elanga, taken down in the box. And offside.
Oh, if that wasn't offside, for me, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
Elanga with that electric pace. Let's have a look. Oh, it's in the lead-up play. I think it's Bergvall.
Yeah, it was the ball, the first ball from Elanga to Svensson.
Wasn't as clear-cut when you see it on replay in terms of the penalty and what we saw.
Gee, very close. They are
very close again.
Forcing the issue here at the very end of the first half, Sweden.
Oh, mind you, the Mbappe disallowed goal was very close as well, so one cancelling the other. But well done to Sweden for coming back like this.
And 3 minutes have elapsed. We might have a bit of extra time as the goal crept into injury time of the first half. Zetterstrom puts his foot through it, sends it high towards the sideline, and bounces away into the French dugout. France 1, Sweden 0. Kylian Mbappe in the 45th minute to give France the advantage.
French supporters there enjoying themselves, and rightfully so. The team are absolute pleasure to watch.
And that is half-time from the New York, New Jersey Stadium. And who else but Kylian Mbappe with his 17th World Cup goal, his 5th goal of this tournament. And France just dialed up the quality as the first half wore on. A pleasure to watch. But Sweden still in the contest and have given France a little bit to think about right at the end of that first half. Jordan Canellis and Mark Bosnich with you. We'll get the thoughts of Bozza on the other side of this break in our halftime analysis. Brought to you by Valvoline, the original engine oil. At halftime, it is France 1, Sweden 0.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage. proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Say yes to turning into a Socceroo girl at the pub. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, I'm Dee Dee. Woo! Woo!
G'day, it's Archie Thompson here. All eyes right now are on the greatest tournament in the world. And so many stars are steering towards goal, aiming for glory. One team to make sure you keep your eye on is Tyre Power. They always deliver a winning formation like their world-famous 4-for-3 offer.
During Tyre Power's winter safety sale, get 4 for 3 on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres, the equivalent of 25% off.
To score a winning goal on family value and safety, you can't go past your tyre experts at Tyre Power. Find your local at tyrepower.com.au.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory, that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
Blitz into Chemist Warehouse for the end of financial year Blitz and get half price off the Nature's Own range. Pick up glucosamine sulfate 400 tabs for just $24.99. Bump up your B12 with B12 Nature's Own 1000 microgram 120 tabs, $14.74. Make your self-care routine even better with ashwagandha plus 60 tabs, $14.99. And complete the set with Complete Sleep Advance 40 tabs, $19.74. Care for yourself and your bank account with the Chemist Warehouse end of financial year Blitz. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
A legendary country deserves a legendary bottle shop. At Liquorland, we've been filling fridges and helping Aussies raise a glass for over 50 years. Cold, but cosy nights in. And summer sundowners, hosting the watch party. Or cooking for a full house, for the last minute dash on the way, or ordering your favourites from the couch. Yes! We'll bring the epic value and the legendary drinks. Liquorland. Legendary. Choose to drink wise.
Every football journey starts the same way. A ball, a dream, and a moment that sparks a lifelong love of the game. As the world comes together to celebrate football, Melbourne City Football School is helping the next generation take their first step. With programs across Melbourne for boys and girls of all ages and abilities, there's never been a better time to get involved. Search Melbourne City Football School and find a program near you. Melbourne City FC. From grassroots to football's biggest stage.
Pie 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 pie. Pie 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 pie. Pie 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 pie. Pie 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 pie.
It's not the footy without a 4 and 20.
It's official. 3 of Australia's biggest players, Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo, all declared Host Plus the best super fund winner. That's 3 big wins for your super. 3 from 3. That's a plus. Awards and ratings are only one factor to consider. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. General advice only. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Search Compare Host Plus today.
Say yes to tackling a couple of soccerooners at your local after the match. You get it? Soccerooners, schooners. It sounds like schooners. Anyway, say yes to going out after the game. Say yes. IDD.
Melbourne City FC. From grassroots to football's biggest stage. Proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Now Bradley Barkala finds a lane down the inside. Running at the Swedish defence. Finds a gap, Barkala. And his left-footed strike is over the crossbar.
Chance.
And here is a chance for Kylian Mbappe. He's in behind. Flag stays down. And Mbappe scores the game's opening goal. But will be denied by the offside flag. Collected by Dembele. Koundé checked his run. Plays it to Mbappe. Hits the post. And Zetterstrom dives on top of it to save it on the goal line. The rebound comes away, Rabiot. High one towards Dembele. The bicycle hits the post. The rebound is missed. Retrieved by Tchouameni. Elise just misses. Short corner taken. Here's Mbappe. Dinks his way around. And Kylian Mbappe gets the opener for France. Now Sweden will try and attack down the other end. Elanga sends it in. There's a chance here for Sweden. The shot is deflected.
Yeah.
Highlights aplenty in the first half at the New York, New Jersey Stadium as France leads Sweden 1-0. This is the global game on SEN. Get a drive-away deal on the all-new Ford Ranger Wolf Track V6 at participating Ford dealers. And Keno Go kick off the soccer season with Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app for your chance to win. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster, it is time for the halftime floor show.
This is more than just a game.
The global game. Choices Flooring halftime floor show. Choices Flooring. Style, comfort, quality. Helping you choose with confidence. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Halftime is also thanks to 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster. Mark Bosnich is alongside myself, Jordan Canellis. Bozza, what did you think of the first half?
Wonderful to watch in terms of from a France perspective. I think Sweden done as well as they could. They showed, especially from the start, that they weren't just going to sit back, that they were going to try to attack France. But it really must, well, it is. It really is dispiriting when you're actually doing the job that you'd set out to do. But this French team are just like so painfully good that they just keep coming at you and coming at you. And in reality, they should be 3-0 up. So Sweden can take a positive out of that. They can also take a positive out of the fact that they are causing some problems. In terms of straight after the goal was scored, they had a wonderful opportunity to equalise. And from a French point of view, but like I said, this is something that we'll talk about at a further date. But ever since the 90s, when they started to, basically redo things and start their version of the Australian Institute of Sport, which was Clairefontaine, and had these little satellite things, they've just produced player after player after player, after team, after team, after team. This is a wonderful thing to watch, and they've got some wonderful players. And if you've got a couple minutes and you've got the access to an app that can show you, just have a look who's on the bench as well. So, like I said, if I'm Graham Potter, I'm saying, okay, it's only 1-0. We've shown that we can create chances. But if I'm France, Didier Deschamps, I'm saying, brilliant boys. The only thing that's missing is the final touch. They'll want to make sure they put this to bed, before the next hydration break.
What was the moment in that first half where it turned for France? Not that it was going the wrong way; it was always in France's. But they had a moment where they just went click and went, "All right, we're going to turn up the pressure."
Yeah, before this game, and we said at the start, Jordan, as well. They were averaging in the low 40s possession-wise. This game, they've had a 70-odd% possession. But I said they're comfortable in any type of way, and I think what really clicked for them is the fact that even though it's very, very difficult when you play against a team. Ask anyone. When you play against a team who have got all 11 players behind the ball and are in a low block, very difficult. You've got to, there's several ways. One of the ways is to move them very, very quickly. And that can become dispiriting if you're doing everything possible to move them, to shift them out of space, and they're not moving. But France were doing that from the start. The switches of plays. If you have a look at the attacking directions, they've been mainly down the sides. They've been trying to keep the centre free for people to run into. And they've had people then in the centre when they get the ball down the sides because they want somebody in there for crosses. So in terms of clicking for France, if you really want to sort of just say, state the bleeding obvious, you could say after the goal, but it was well before that. They were still creating opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And it's a wonderful example as well that, you hit the post twice, you've had chance after chance, you had a goal disallowed. You just keep going and keep going and keep going. You're playing really, really well. And you keep with the belief, and then in the end you get your rewards. But you just got to be a bit careful because, like I said, after they scored that goal, Sweden went up the other end, which I was proud of from a Swedish perspective, and had a real chance. So they just got to make sure they don't want to be getting to the situation where it's like 5 minutes to go. They should be 3 or 4 cleared, only one clear, and all of a sudden, Sweden are starting to come at them because, as we saw with the Germany game, regardless of the amount of possession, the amount of dominance that you have, if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you leave yourself open for it to go to extra time and then even worse, penalties.
Well, the big moments brought to you by Liquorland. Game on, drink sorted, legendary Liquorlands. Our first half recap brought to you by Host Plus, named Best Super Fund by Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo. That's a plus. Issued by Host Plus PTY Limited. Check the PDS and TMD at hostplus.com.au. And our halftime partner is Choices Flooring and 4 and 20 Pies, all of them broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 official radio broadcaster. A quick break. Jordan Canellis and Mark Bosnich with you. Back after this for the second half between France and Sweden.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026, official radio broadcaster.
Say yes to proudly showing up for your country and then losing your dignity on the dance floor. It's the Australian way. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, IDD.
To the doers, why do what you do? The doer who shows up when worn down, who stretches out when stretched thin, who breathes deep and does it all over again. Whatever your do is, and why ever you do it, by protecting what matters most, at AIA, we'll help you do it for life. AIA, health insurance, life insurance, financial advice. To learn more, search AIA Australia.
I heard Brick and Amy finally bought a new home. Weren't they years of saving? They were. They'd almost given up. So what changed? They bought a brand new 4-bedroom Henley home. They move in a couple of months. How? The deposit was under $30,000. We helped a bit. They got the $10,000 first homeowner grant and saved tens of thousands of dollars on stamp duty.
Henley Select, making home buying easier. Call 1-800-646464. Homes across Melbourne.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory, that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
Blitz into Chemist Warehouse for the end of financial year Blitz and get half price off the Nature's Own range. Pick up glucosamine sulfate 400 tabs for just $24.99. Bump up your B12 with B12 Nature's Own 1000 microgram 120 tabs, $14.74. Make your self-care routine even better with ashwagandha plus 60 tabs, $14.99. And complete the set with Complete Sleep Advance 40 tabs, $19.74. Care for yourself and your bank account with the Chemist Warehouse end of financial year Blitz. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
For over a century, Cyclone has armed Australians with the strongest, most reliable garden tools. Trusted by trade professionals and home gardeners alike, Cyclone tools are engineered for superior performance in tough Aussie conditions. When you pick up a Cyclone product, you're holding a tool made to perform and made to endure. The #1 name for Australian garden tools, Cyclone Tools. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Mitre 10 and independent garden retailers.
It's official. 3 of Australia's biggest players, Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo, all declared Host Plus the best super fund winner. That's 3 big wins for your super. 3 from 3. That's a plus. Awards and ratings are only one factor to consider. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. General advice only. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Search Compare Host Plus today.
G'day, it's Ken Hinkley here. When the players I coached fell away from the 1%ers, I'd offer up a creative speech, aka an almighty spray. When it comes to tyre safety, you don't need a motivational speech from me. Just this reminder, go and visit Tyre Power. They cover every 1%er for your vehicle and offer the free 5-minute tyre safety check.
Winter safety sale now on. Buy 3, get 1 free on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres.
So do this 1%er in your life. Put a reminder in your phone to get your tyres checked at Tyre Power.
Say yes to turning into a Socceroo girl at the pub. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, IDD. Woo! Woo!
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026, official radio broadcaster. This is the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
FIFA World Cup round of 32. France and Sweden underway for the start of the second half. France's kick-off about 10 seconds ago went straight out of play, which is the new norm. It goes straight out of play, and Sweden's throw-in gets our second half underway in earnest. Kylian Mbappe scored the only goal so far. 45th minute, right before the halftime interval, to put France up 1-0, and there was highlights everywhere in the first half, particularly at the near the end of that first half. Jordan Canellis and Mark Bosnich with you. Bozza, what are we expecting here in the second half?
More of the same from France. They'd like to put it to bed, at least, even before the next hydration break. Sweden, very similar. They're just a little tweak for Sweden. So the coach would be saying, look, just keep it at 1. Even if we're going to 1 around the 70th minute, then we can go for it. They want 1 for the last 20 minutes or so just to be a possession. They'll want to make sure that they're in with a shout.
Long throw in from Sweden on the right. Berdival sends it in. France's defence sends it away. Ayari will try and send it forward again, and then Isak comes together with Koundé and gives away the foul. No changes to either team at half-time. No substitutions made by either Didier Deschamps for France or Graham Potter for Sweden. And so the 11s on the park as they were as we began the game. For France, Magnon, the goalkeeper. The back four of Koundé, Upamecano, Saliba and Digne. The centre mids, Tchouaméni and Rabiot. The attacking midfield line of Dembélé, Olise and Barcola. And Kylian Mbappe, the captain and striker of France. While for Sweden, they have a 3-4-3 formation, which can go to a 5-2-3 as well, with the wing-backs folding back. Zetterstrom is the goalkeeper. The central defensive three of Lagerbielke, Lindelof and Gudmundsson. The wing-backs, Stroud and Svensson. The two centre mids, Berdival and Ayari. And the front three of Isak, Gyökeres and Elanga. Here's Koundé in the right half space for France. Miscued the pass slightly, swept away by Sweden, picked up by Upamecano on the halfway line, guides it backwards to Mike Magnon, the goalkeeper. Now to William Saliba. He's been grappling away whenever it has come into France's half with his Arsenal teammate Victor Gyökeres going up against each other. The winner of this game takes on Paraguay in the round of 16 in Philadelphia on the 4th of July, American time, Independence Day. It'll be the morning of July 5 for us here in Australia.
I was going to say that. Is that the same day as the Australia game, but it's not. It's the day after, right?
Day after, yeah. Yes, Australia plays on the last day of the round of 32 against Egypt. Barcola on the left. Svensson dives in, gets the tackle away, hits the corner flag and goes out for a throw.
Important tackle there by Svensson. The other thing I wanted to say when you said about in terms of the second half, maybe not so much with Didier Deschamps, but especially with Graham Potter, the timing of the substitutes is going to be absolutely vital for him. Whether or not they concede a second, whether or not they score an equaliser, he's got to keep an eye on everyone first and foremost to make sure that they're all okay, that no one's gassed out. And how then is he going to attack it, depending on what's going on the park. Now, a lot of people will say it's a little bit reactive, but he's got to be like that, because if he goes 2-0, I think the substitutes might be a little bit different than if he goes to 1-1.
France on their left. It's poked away from them and out of play. They've played 4 minutes so far in this second half. France 1, Sweden 0. Sweden, their path to the World Cup was very rocky. If you lined up, if you lined up all of the 45 teams that had to qualify and put them in one big table, they'd be last. They didn't win a single game in their group stage of qualifying. They finished dead last. Here's Tchouaméni eyeing up the target and goes into the crowd over the crossbar. But they got a second chance in qualifying Sweden by way of their Nations League ranking. So they got a bonus berth into the playoff rounds for UEFA and took the most of their opportunities and won their 2 playoff games against Ukraine and Poland. So the only 2 games they won in qualifying was the very lucky berth that they had into the playoffs, and they managed to get here to the World Cup.
Amazing story, isn't it, when you think of it, as we just watched the replay of Mbappe's goal and French supporters in the background making their feelings clear. But I was thinking about that last night, isn't it, John? Amazing. They finished last in their qualifying group, but because of their performances in the Nations League and they got into the playoffs, Then they defeated, Ukraine and Poland. So, but this goes to show that never say never, put it that way.
They didn't make the last Euros either, failed to qualify for that. So the recent major tournament form and qualifying has been less than impressive. But Graham Potter came in for those 2 playoff matches and has changed things around. He replaced John Dahl Tomasson, who was the Danish manager, who wasn't very popular in Sweden, actually. So I think a lot of Swedish fans were happy to see him go. And Potter's completely turned things around for Sweden.
Got him out in the group stage as well in the World Cup, albeit in an inconsistent manner. They're here.
Here's Dembele, plays a pass into Koundé, cuts it back towards Elise, didn't quite reach him though. And stepping in was Gudmundsson. Gets it away, Elise retrieves. Now to Dembele on the edge of the box, tried to cut it back to Mbappe, and the flag's gone up.
Once again, some mesmerising play by the French team. But once again, I'll remind them and all their supporters of the score. It's still only 1-0. So Sweden are still well in this. From the dominance of possession and territory, it might not seem so, but until you put a team away, regardless of who they are, they will get another chance. It makes a big difference in mentality when you're playing 2 or 3-0 up as opposed to playing 1-0 up.
Have tested France a few times, not as many as shots coming the other way. France 16 attempts to Sweden's 3, but there have been some good ones in there for Sweden. Here's Elise running at Sweden, plays it in behind. Nice take from Barcola and puts it in. Goal number 2 for France. And right out of the half-time break, they waste no time to double their lead. Bradley Barcola scores his 2nd goal of the tournament. And it is France 2, Sweden 0.
Absolutely superb play. The Gyökeres there, very frustrated, but France once again leaving that centre space clear for somebody to run onto, and that was excellent. Bradley Barcola, the Paris Saint-Germain player, with a superb finish, but a wonderful ball straight through for him. Again, they get the ball in transition, and this is where they're so dangerous because of their quick players. That ball from Mbappe is worth its weight in gold. That was Elise, sorry. Superb.
Elise, another assist for Michael Elise this World Cup. He has been instrumental for France. He hasn't hit the scoreboard himself. He does deserve a goal at some stage in this tournament, but he has been setting up everything for France. He had the assist here. He had the second assist, or the second last pass, before France's first goal of this game. And it's Bradley Barcola who scores. There is hot property right now in world football. He's been part of the PSG setup for quite some time, but they've got some new names coming in, so he might look for a move elsewhere ahead of the new season. And there are many big clubs looking out for his services. France 2-0 leaders. A goal coming in the 53rd minute, just 8 minutes after the resumption of play for the second half.
Decision time here for Graham Potter. I would make the subs now, because another goal and then it's completely over. They've got to somehow get back into this game. There's no use just holding on now, because, like I said, one more goal from France and it's completely over. It could turn into a cricket score. So it's time for the substitutions and a change of the way that they're going to, at least if you're going to go down fighting. In terms of Bradley Barcola, you know what, at this moment in time, you're talking about the European dual champions in Paris. I wouldn't be wanting going anywhere. Luis Enrique, one of the best managers in the world. They play wonderful football. I'll be thinking about staying regardless of who comes. But Graham Potter in Sweden, they need to do something and do something fast.
The reports are that Jan Diomande is going to come across, the Leipzig Ivory Coast winger. A big money move for 5-year contracts. Magnus Akliouche from Monaco as well is going to be another one that's seemingly on the way to PSG. So it's going to be a pretty big battle for spots. And of course, you've already got Kvaratskhelia who's there.
Yeah. I'd still stay and fight for my spot.
He's good enough to do it, Barcola. He'll definitely back himself in. Certainly agree with that.
Corner to Sweden.
Langa's cross deflected by Digne. Chance here for Sweden from the set piece. They do have some tall timber as well. Another one of these tall Scandinavian teams, Sweden. Likes of Jökedes, Lindelof are up there. Alexander Isak as well. Gustav Lagerbielke, the centre-back. All options aerially for Sweden. Crowding the goalkeeper, Mike Magnon, in his green goalkeeper's outfit for France. A lot of traffic to contend with right in front of his goal line.
Left foot in swinger incoming. A lot of pushing and shoving in that area.
Like a rugby scrum in there.
There's a bit.
Cross comes in towards Berival, who raises up and can't quite connect. Flies beyond him and out for a goal kick.
Half a chance. Head's just wide.
Just went past his shock of blonde hair, Lucas Berival. France have only lost one of their last 19 World Cup knockout matches. 15 wins, 3 draws, which have gone on to penalties. The last defeat in regulation time was against Germany in 2014 in the quarter-final, which I think was the Mats Hummels header to win that game. From memory, 57th minute here. France 2, Sweden 0. SEN's coverage brought to you by Valvoline, the original engine oil. Mark Bosnich, our expert on our coverage today of France and Sweden. Our match of the day on SEN. Earlier today, Norway defeated the Ivory Coast 2-1. Sweden hoping to make it, and they're still hoping to make it 2 Scandinavian teams through to the round of 16, but they've got a big mountain to climb now against France. And later today, the last game of the day will be Mexico at the Azteca Stadium, which will be absolutely rocking as they take on Ecuador and try and get to that mythical 5th game. The long curse that they've had of not being able to win their first game of the knockout stage. They had 7 consecutive round of 16 exits from 1994 to 2018. Mexico, back when the first round of the knockouts was the round of 16, and never won it. Can they try and win a knockout game now that they're back at home?
They've gone relatively under the radar, Mexico, but I've been impressed by them.
They play good football.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And, and in front of 85,000 Mexicans, they're going to be very difficult. They're in line. If they win this game in England, win to play England, there's going to be a tough task, I can tell you.
And that game will be in Mexico as well. So
yeah.
Here comes Koundé for France. On the byline, on the tight angle, couldn't quite cut it back and go straight to the goalkeeper.
He's been excellent today as well, Koundé. Provided ample support down the Belay side. He's got forward continually. Look at the average positions. Obviously, Luca Digne on the other side is a little bit further back because of the pace of Elanga, but Koundé's been coming forward all the time. Sweden now need to have a little bit of possession just to get their bearings back, to regroup a little bit. Then they've got to consider either making changes or changes to the way that they're playing, because there's no way they're going to get back into this game otherwise. And if they're just trying to hang on just to make sure the score's respectable, that's a huge risk, put it this way. I understand you're coming up against arguably the best team in the world, but like I said, if you're going to go down, you go down fighting.
I just spied Taha Ali down below on the sideline, who is an X-Factor winger who might be coming on here for Sweden. He's only had a couple of minutes at this World Cup. So it's a big risk to take for Graham Potter, but he's looking to bring on some attacking talent and refresh things up front. As Jökedes goes to grounds against William Saliba as they make their way to the byline. Jökedes holding his face. Ball's gone out for a French goal kick.
Trying to get his club teammate sent off, is he? Oh, he got him. He got him just beneath the nose. He did get him.
With Meccano, I think it was, actually, with the right hand. Yeah, smacked him right across the face.
But he got him. Definitely got him. And coming back to Mexico's opponents, Ecuador, everyone, honestly, if you haven't seen it, you've got to watch out for the Argentine coach of Ecuador, Sebastian Bechachache. He was absolutely, he was box office in that game against Germany. Imagine if they beat Mexico in Mexico. Honestly, I reckon he would do laps of the pitch with his flowing blonde hair.
Did you see the images overnight from the Mexican fans who were outside the Ecuador hotel?
No, what they do is setting off fireworks and keeping them up.
Yeah, car horns, fireworks,
oh, gosh.
Air horns, everything to try and keep the the Ecuadorian team awake and have a bad sleep. France move it out to the right for Ousmane Dembélé. Plays inward towards Koundé, who starts a little run in behind, not honoured by Rabiot. Rabiot passes centrally to Mbappe, sees the run of Rabiot, tries to go back to him. Rabiot keeps it.
Lovely scoop by Mbappe.
Keeps it alive on the byline. Now Elise tries to curl one in and pushed away by Zetterstrom, who parries heavily to his right and out for a corner.
Another good save from Zetterstrom. If it wasn't for him today, I think conservatively we could say it would be 4-0. Very good save.
Long levers of Jakob Vidal Zetterstrom. Getting to that one again. Covers a lot of the goal mouth. Zetterstrom, nearly 2 metres tall. 6'6", 197 centimetres. Corner for France. Outswinger from Elise to the front post, headed up and away by Gyökeres. Collected by Digne. Elise has stayed wide down the left channel. Barkel has got it right now. He comes infield to Tchouaméni. And away to the right side of the field for Koundé. Didn't want to attack the space out wide. Comes back into Upamecano. Now Mbappe is about 24 yards from home with traffic in front of him. He goes to Dembélé, top of the D. Lays it backwards to Tchouaméni, and France just keep pushing it around sideways, passing forward, backwards.
So see, Geordie, how they keep that centre free, France. Look, see how they leave the Swedish defenders. Look, it's like usually 2 players marking no one. That's leaving that free so they can get into that. But what Sweden need to do, because they've got about 4 or 5 marking 2, they've got to take one of those defenders, leave one in the centre. Obviously, you can't leave it completely free, and push them out wide. This is why they're getting outnumbered in other areas.
Yeah, that area around the top of the 18-yard box, around the D, is completely vacant. But then they run into it, as you said, Bozza. So right now, Mbappe's just hanging back a little bit, ready to receive and then charge. He's got it here, Mbappe. He doesn't charge. He goes with a flighted ball out towards Dembélé on the right sideline. Neat touch to control. Plays it on the underlap to Koundé on the edge of the box. Goes backwards to Dembélé on the right flank. Left-footed ball is into the area, and there was no runner close enough to that. Elise was nearest, but bounces beyond him and straight to the keeper.
Good play again by France. Wasn't far off, was it? We spoke about that area. And you saw 2 players running into it when it was a crucial moment. Sweden have got to do something here.
63
hydration.
minutes.
Yeah, hydration break coming up soon. Maybe you'll wait till then, but it might be too late.
There's 2 players ready to come on here for Sweden. And whenever they want to take their substitutions, Graham Potter won't be from this stoppage. Throw in for Sweden, taken quickly. Lucas Bergvall into Yassine Ayari. Sweden in front of the circle in their attacking half, but in the midfield zone still. Lindelof has it in the circle. Away to Gabriel Gudmundsson on the left. Now Elliot Stroud goes back to Gudmundsson. Victor Lindelof, the captain of Sweden, playing in the heart of defence. Bergvall of Tottenham across to Lagerbielke, who plays for Braga in Portugal. Sweden to the right for Elanga. Elanga starts to make a run off the ball down the right. Comes to him now down low as he came back to show for it. Very tight spaces on the right sideline. Elanga again. Finds the gap towards Gyökeres, who tries to hold it up and lay it back to Elanga, but France were alert to the situation. And now they'll collect on the halfway line and begin to carry it forward here, France.
This is trouble.
Numbers stretching forward. Here's Elise. Nice collect. And the deflection nearly sneaks it in the bottom corner. The deflection takes it out. And Elise couldn't quite convert just then for France, but they are threatening again.
And this is what we spoke about before the game, Jordan, that how France can play in several ways, whether it be dominating through possession or whether it be sitting back, drawing the opposition on. This time they were sat back. Good spell of possession from Sweden. But all of a sudden they lose the ball. And here's the substitutions that we've been calling for. Coming on now. Bergvall coming off. Ali is one of the substitutions.
And now taking off Elliot Stroud as well. So Taha Ali comes on. I'm interested to see how he goes. It's a big moment for him.
Yep.
And Zanelli as well is coming on. So Taha Ali's a fascinating story. His family fled Somaliland in the eastern regions of Africa. As the ball comes in here for France, and it's clawed away by Zetterstrom. Collected by Koundé. Chouameni puts it back in, chested down by Rabiot, and Upamecano's shot is into the ground and straight into the goalkeeper's hands. I think the flag might have gone up, but play allowed to go on. And now Elanga stretches it forwards. Here's Isak, couldn't quite control, and Zanelli retrieves in midfield. Here is Taha Ali, who, as I was saying, his parents fled the genocide that was happening in Somaliland, came to Sweden, and he is an X-factor player in the Swedish league, a local product. Sends it into Isak, looking for Gyökeres, and getting back quickly with Saliba to cut it out, and France will clear their lines.
Better from Sweden. Already the injection of the two new substitutes has had a difference. The other substitute is best for Zanelli, who plays for the Belgium side, Union Saint-Gilloise. Midfielder. So he's looking to freshen things up. He came up in Bergvall. And big opportunity here. Plays for Malmo. Taha Abdi Ali, the man you just mentioned. But like I said, if you're going to go out, let's go out fighting. They've got to push up a bit and take the chance that France are going to do what they did just before the break. Sorry, just before the substitutions, and attack you on the counter-attack with that speed. But the mentality is still, we've got to go forward. We're 2 goals down. It's just over 20 minutes to play to go.
Mark Bosnich on SEN, our expert today for Valvoline, the original engine oil. Long ball from defence to attack. It's an expansive pass out towards Elanga on the right. Getting across first is Digne. Hooks it over his head, and it's out of play for a Sweden throw on the right wing. And the hydration break is going to be taken here. So,
here we go.
3-minute interval here for Sweden to try and gather themselves up and reconsider what they need to do and what needs to be done for the last 20 to 25 minutes.
Well, like I said, no one wants to get beat by a cricket score, yes. And France have got that ability. Let's be honest, conservatively, it should be 4-0 already anyway. The fact that you're at 2-0, you've still got a glimmer of hope if you're Sweden. You've made the 2 substitutes. You might want to think about making some more. And the mentality's got to change. They've got to go for it. Okay? They've got, what, just under 20 minutes to have a real crack at France. Let's see what France are like, I'll be saying. Let's see what they're like when they have to run back towards their own goal. If I'm Didier Deschamps in France, I'll be saying, look, listen, keep things going the way that they're going. They haven't made a substitution yet. Let's try to get that 3rd goal. It doesn't matter if we sit back. It's up to Sweden to come back out, and we've got the players that can hit them on the break. But let's keep looking for that 3rd goal, because that absolutely, that will absolutely kill them off. So a lot to play for in this last, like I said, 15 or 20 minutes or so for both sides for different reasons. And obviously, like I just said, the next goal scorer will have a huge bearing on how the rest of the game is played after that. Is Barcola's 2nd goal. Wonderful finish. Great run.
Let's take a listen to how the 2 goals sounded. France scoring either side of half-time. Mbappe first and Barcola second. Short corner taken. Here's Mbappe. Dinks his way around. And Kylian Mbappe gets the opener for France. Here's Elise running at Sweden. Plays it in behind. Nice take from Barcola and puts it in. Goal number 2 for France. Those are the 2 goals. Michael Elise and Ousmane Dembélé helping set up the first goal, and then it was Elise again in concert with Aurélien Tchouameni to help play Bradley Barcola in through the defence and slightly to the left of the goalkeeper. He tucked it away for goal number 2, and it's a 2-0 lead for France against Sweden. The winner of this plays Paraguay. In the round of 16, everyone had drawn up their brackets pre-tournament, Bozza, and thought we're going to see a France-Germany round of 16 clash. But not to be, of course, with Germany getting knocked out in the penalty shootout yesterday, as were the Netherlands. So Paraguay is the team who awaits the winner of this one.
Yeah, and well done to them. Regardless of what you think about the controversial Jordan Tarr goal/non-goal, Paraguay, who were in, obviously, Australia's group, have done a wonderful job. Congratulations to their Argentine manager, Gustavo Alfaro, because, I mean, the spirit and the you could say the desperation that Paraguay showed in their defending and the way they played the game is a tribute to him and the esprit de corps that he's installed throughout that side. And who would have thought after they were taken apart literally by the United States in that first game, they would have come back like this. But as I said to everybody as well, you know, that group with Paraguay and the Socceroos and the United States and Turkey was if you talk about average rankings, it was the second toughest group.
Yeah. Yeah, from the highest rank to the lowest rank. It was one of the closest groups in the World Cup. Throw in from Sweden, gets defended quickly here by France, and now they can counter at the other end. Elise bursting through the middle, played into his path. Elise can't get it through the legs of the goalkeeper. Zetterstrom comes out, spreads both legs either side, makes himself as big as possible and blocks Elise's shot.
Well, that would have been a complete performance by Elise, who's been outstanding throughout. Cap it off with a goal. Again, coming back to what we said before the game, Jordan, about France, how they can get you in so many ways. Once again on the break. And if I was listening to me right now, I'd be saying it's easy for you to say, Boz, about them pushing up. Look what they can do. So it is understandable. Such a complete side, this French team. They're going to be so difficult to beat for anyone.
No substitutions from that hydration break. So as we were before, Sweden have made 2 changes, France none.
Remember in the first half, Jordan, as well, from that hydration break when France come out, they were flying.
Yeah,
I think they got it in them to do this again and to put this to bed to completely finish it off.
Taha Ali collects it from Ayari, starts to run at Jules Koundé. He's got a Dembele in front of him. He changes direction, gets to the byline, trying to get around Koundé, and appealing for a corner.
Well, VR will take a look at that with the new rules. But Ali looks dangerous.
He does. No corner given, so goal kick taken very quickly by Mike Magnon.
Mike Magnon just put the ball down and hit it. What corner?
Lindelof in the middle of the park for Sweden. Out to Gudmundsson on the left. Now to Taha Ali. He was only a few metres ahead of the halfway line. Goes backwards to Gudmundsson.
If you look at the average positions, like I said to you before, Koundé for France down the right back. Lindelof plays it straight up, straight ball outside. Handball. He's been one of the most furthest forward French players, but now with Ali on, he's going to have to step back. He won't be coming forward as much as he realises what this Ali can do.
France attacking down the other end. Barkala streaking forward, stops short of the 18-yard box. Guides it backwards, and now it's Elise, who plays the ball in behind. Lovely looking pass, and it's a 3rd goal for France. It's a 2nd goal of the game for Kylian Mbappe. Another brace at this World Cup for Kylian Mbappe. And again, it's that star-studded front 4 of France who are tearing this World Cup to strips. Mbappe with goal number 2 for the game, goal number 3 for France. It's France 3, Sweden 0.
There they go again. Deadly, and that is it. It's going to be very difficult now for Sweden and their players to pick themselves up. They've got to try to do it, but that is game. Kylian Mbappe once again. See, leaving that space for them to run onto. Is that offside? Great touch. Puts it in. First touch puts it in his path. Second touch before the goalkeeper can even set himself. It's so difficult for a goalkeeper when a player takes shots on early. You can't even set yourself.
He was
That's why he is what he is.
Angling in from the left side of the 18-yard box. Kylian Mbappe onto his right foot. He went whirring past the left ear of the goalkeeper. He just beat the offside trap. I think Gudmundsson played him on just across the other side of the defensive line. And you're dead right, Bozza. That first touch, impeccable from Mbappe. And the second touch to just flick it past the goalkeeper with immense power, short back lift. And he has his 18th World Cup goal, now just one behind Lionel Messi in the all-time standings. And it's 3-0 for France, and you'd think with 15 minutes to go in regulation time, that is wraps.
And Doué and Gusto coming on for Koundé, and look at the other one is.
Dembele and Koundé coming off.
Osman Dembele, there you go.
Yeah. So Gusto,
the Chelsea man, and Desiree Doué, Paris man on. As I said, remember halfway through the first half, just wait till they make subs, you'll see the type of players they can bring on. Imagine that, you just scored a third goal in your Sweden, they go, all right, they're making a couple of substitutions to see who's come on. You're like, oh gosh. Here comes Ali again, I like the look of him. This is why Gusto's come on, because he knows that he's going to be a bit of a danger. Koundé's done his job really well, but Gusto's a better defender than Koundé. Koundé's better going forward.
Got some fresh legs on with Malo Gusto, the Chelsea right back. Ali buzzing around the edge of the box. Here's Gyökeres to the feet of Svensson. It was carving in, couldn't quite collect, and now the French team attacking the other way. Here's Bradley Barcola, gets in front of the circle, stops his run, plays it into the feet of Elise. Eyes up the goals, out to the right. Desiree Doué cuts it back and couldn't find someone in the area. It was just behind Mbappe, and Sweden clear it. France will come back again with Rabiot. Over to the left for Barcola. Back to Rabiot. Elise was calling for it centrally. Rabiot goes back wide to Barcola. And now Digne. To the centre of the park for Tchouaméni. France happy to control the tempo of the game as much as they please. Clicking through the gears.
So important, especially on a hot day like today. You mentioned the gears, it's so important.
Upwards of 30 degrees, near 32 degrees Celsius in New Jersey today for this contest. Here's Tchouaméni inside France's own half. They're halfway inside their own defensive half here. France. Tchouaméni. Out to the left. And he's brought to ground. Free kick to France in front of the halfway line.
I think that's Elise just come up. Elise with the most assists thus far in the 2026 World Cup. Another substitute coming on for France. Theo Hernandez coming on. Luca Digne, the Aston Villa man, coming off. He's done an overall good job on Elanga. Elanga's one of the fastest players at the World Cup. That was really going to be their biggest threat. So he's done a good job. Second second substitute window for France taken up. Once you're allowed 3 normal time. Those windows only count during play at half-time if you make a substitution.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that technical talk I just gave you, John.
Very enlightening.
Courtesy of Mark Bossage Inc. T's and C's apply.
Here's Sweden looking to go through the middle here. Through ball towards Gyökeres. It's Upamecano who shields his body in front of the ball and does exceptionally well. Upamecano, incredible pace he has and physicality as well to beat Gyökeres. And he sends it away.
So important in our game, especially for at both ends. As we see another substitute coming on here for Sweden. Double substitution.
Well, there was.
Referees missed and said, stop it, yeah. Referees obviously turned around and said the game's over. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
The fourth official put the board up and the ref said, nah, not now.
I always remember we played a game, I think it was actually in Norway, in the UEFA Cup for Aston Villa. And we were winning 3-0, so we were well ahead. It was only about 20 minutes to go, and similar thing occurred. And our assistant manager, Steve Harrison, was telling the story. It was they were Swiss officials. And we were shouting, come on, we want to make a sub. We want to, and the Swiss official the four official turned around and said, you're winning 3-0. Calm down. That was that one all over again. You're winning 3-0. Calm down. Don't worry. Or in terms of Sweden's case, you're losing 3-0.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah, give it up, guys. 10 minutes to go in this one, and France on the way to the round of 16. Paraguay waits in Philadelphia in about 5 days from now. Here's Doué on the right. Little step over. Cuts his way past Taha Ali. He wants to get involved, Doué. Still going. Edge of the box. Takes the shot straight to the goalkeeper. Got down low to his left quickly, but he put his whole body right behind it, Zetterstrom, and read it all the way.
Tournament landmark. 5 million fans
There we go.
Thus far.
5 million fans have attended the World Cup now.
There you go.
At this event. Of course, there's a lot more games to be played than previous editions. Today's game 70-something, 77 I think it is. 104 games all up compared to the old, which was 64 in the 32-team tournament.
How have you found the 48-team tournament, John?
I haven't minded it, actually. It's been okay.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I think it's been really good.
Yeah. Here's a Langard, plays it in towards the area. Isak's onto it, and then Magnon is onto the loose ball. And just making the front post run there. Alexander Isak and Mike Magnon read it well. And now France have space to counter.
Come again.
Here's
4
Theo
versus 4.
Hernandez out to the left for Barcola. Mbappe waits centrally. Elise central as well. Barcola puts 2 defenders on their backside. Keeps going Barcola. And his shot from the acute angle is saved by Zetterstrom.
Tell you what, if it wasn't for Zetterstrom today, we'd be talking about sixes or sevens. Wonderful play by Barcola again. Goes one way, checks back on his left foot. Wonderful positioning again from Zetterstrom, who's covered himself in glory today, even though he'll be going off the pitch. As the substitution is finally made for Sweden. Avardi and Svensson coming off, and Svanberg and Nygren coming on.
Benjamin Nygren from Celtic. Had a good season with Celtic. Of course, they won the title at the very end of the season, but personally, he's started probably not in the best 11, but certainly ended the season in the best team. So the corner comes in for France, headed up and away by Lagerbielke.
Oh, well, lucky.
Oh, I'm shattered for Hearts. Would have loved to have seen them win.
Oh, no. Something a little bit different.
Here's Barcola.
That switch of play again.
Lapped down by Desiree Doué on the right flank. He's got close marker there, and Gudmundsson sweeps it away. Back to the 48 teams. It hasn't been as bad as we thought. We thought a lot of the
No, it's been excellent.
Extra
I never thought it was
teams
going to be. No, I never thought it was going to be. But there's only been the one real blowout, and that was Curaçao, right? But they came back really well.
Yeah.
I mean, the story of Cape Verde is absolutely outstanding. The African story's been brilliant. 9 of 10 teams qualify for the knockout stages. South American, 5 or 6. Even European, 13 from 16 teams. Yeah, I think it's been really good. And like I said, it opens it up. We all know what a feeling it was back in 2005, right, when we qualified for the first time in what was it, 32 years. Other teams, other countries deserve to have that feling.
Yeah.
The World Cup's a marvellous event. There's still not even a quarter of the teams that are involved, right? It's 211 nations play football. It's only 48. Yeah?
Yeah.
So people can say what they want, but it needs to be shared. And football is getting closer. You've seen that. Yeah, you've seen that with the results.
Yeah, it's been a growing thing in the last maybe two to three World Cups, is seeing some of the so-called lesser-ranked nations or minnow nations actually really taking it up to some of the bigger teams. Of course, there's going to be a couple of blowouts. There always are big results games.
There's only been one real blowout. That was the Curaçao-Germany opening game, right?
Yeah.
That's all. 7-0, I think it was, yeah. That's all. I mean, even Panama, poor things, the only team as Mbappe hands over the captain's armband to Chouamani. He's done his job today. He's coming off right now. Right call by Deschamps. Why you want to risk your best players now? Game is over.
Mbappe and Elise, yeah,
two of the best players on the park today. Ray and Cherki coming on. And we'll see who the other one is.
It's going to be Mateta.
Oh.
Jean-Philippe Mateta coming on. I haven't seen a lot of him this World Cup. He's made one appearance, but only very briefly.
Coming back to what about the two players you're bringing on? Yeah. It goes for anything. I always remember as well, there was a time at Aston Villa. We come second in the inaugural season of the Premier League, and then 3 or 4 years later, we had an excellent team. We'd finished fourth in the league. We'd won the League Cup and semi-finals FA Cup in the season. And the following season, the physiotherapist who'd won the old First Division, which was the old Premier League, here's the goal on replay right now, showing how he's onside. Jim Walker was his name. He'd won it. The old First Division at Derby County, and I remember we're at Everton. He said, I think we can win the title this year. I said, why? Not because of the way we played. Sure, he said, no, because of who's on the bench. And that could never be truer of of a team like France. Some of the substitutions that have come on, Sweden try to get a consolation. Goes to show, especially now when the games are going to start coming thick and fast. The early games, everyone got 5, 6, sometimes 7 days rest. The games are going to be 3 times a week now, which shouldn't be no problem. You do that anyway. But in the heat of the World Cup, the intensity, it's always wonderful to have that type of quality that can come in if somebody's not 100% or not performing 100%.
France leading 3-0 against Sweden here. We're in the final 5 minutes of regulation time. A shot from distance from Sweden goes behind. SEN's coverage brought to you by Valvoline, the original engine oil. So Elise and Mbappe coming off. Shirky and Mateta coming on. The last change is made. Mbappe's got 2 goals in this game. Again, he's gone past Miroslav Klose's old record of 16 goals, and he's now just one behind Lionel Messi as they chase one another for the outright record by the end of this World Cup.
But they're both on 6 goals now, Jordan, I think.
Yes, I think you're right, yeah. Yes, yeah.
Like for the tournament, I mean. Yeah, and that's obviously Messi's played 1 less game.
That's correct, yeah. Seeing the Deschamps images. You're getting the replay of Mbappe coming off.
Proper manager.
And Didier Deschamps. He's got both hands outstretched like he's hailing the king, Kylian Mbappe.
Well, he's already won in 1 World Cup.
Correct, yeah. But yeah, back to the depth discussion. That's why, I mean, this is going to be the toughest World Cup to win because there's an extra game to be played with the extra round. Here go France again down the left to the edge of the box. Barcola plays it backwards. Offside flag has gone up. You've got an extra game to be played. You've got games at altitude. If you've had to go through Mexico, you've got tough.
The travel,
tough
as we know
conditions.
here in this country.
The travel, it takes forever as well. So if you've got depth, and that's why my pre-tournament prediction was Spain to win it.
Okay.
Because I think they've got the best brand, but they don't have the depth as France do. They've got some depth. I'm not going to deny that. But France's team, like you can make a second 11 out of their bench players, and that'd be a competitive team.
Yeah, quite easily. Well, for me, I was asked to give a tip around January by somebody here at SEN. I was like, okay, fair enough. And I said France. And then I looked at the teams that could win it, and I sort of thought, you know what, I'm going to go for Brazil because of Carlo Ancelotti and because the last time it was in the United States, they won it. And they're at decent odds as well, put it that way, yeah? Remember, gamble responsibly. But there's nothing I've seen, actually, that's made me think to myself, really, should you have changed your tip from France? But sometimes the best team doesn't always win. It's tournament football, it's on the day. And as we saw, yesterday even, if it goes to penalties too, that really does, even things up. Although I must say, I don't think Germany would have passed France either.
No. Here's Yerkes with a chance.
Great save.
Just spilled to him at the right time, and Mike Magnon threw himself to the left, got 2 hands behind it and parries it away. A snapshot there, a rare chance as the game begins to die out for Sweden. And Mike Magnon comes into action to keep his sheet clean.
And always sign of a very good goalkeeper, and a goalkeeper that can play for a big side. Has had nothing to do throughout the whole game. He's kept his concentration, and he's made a wonderful save. That's an art in itself. Alexander Isak comes off. It's the last substitution window and substitute used by France. Nielsen coming on. But Mike Magnon, fantastic save. That is so important when you want to have a champion team, that you have a champion goalkeeper, one who, like I said, may have nothing to do for 89 minutes, which it is right on now, and all of a sudden makes a crucial save. So just think that was 2-0 or 1-0 for France. All of a sudden, that's such a bonus, and it wakes everybody up as well. That's a special skill in itself. It's all right being a goalkeeper that's busy all the time. It's another thing when you're not busy and you've got to keep your concentration.
He's on the verge of getting his second clean sheet at this year's World Cup. Kept a clean sheet against Iraq in the second game, but led in a goal in their opener against Senegal and their last group game against Norway. Chasing the ball back is Gudmundsson, who goes back to Zetterström, who's been very good himself, the Swedish goalkeeper, despite leading in 3, but he has been impressive.
Sweden's best player.
Yeah, yep.
By a long shot. 4 minutes of added time.
France 3, Sweden 0. Kylian Mbappe scored once right before half-time. Bradley Barcola scored in the 53rd minute, just 8 minutes after the resumption of play. And then Kylian Mbappe again with another brace at this World Cup for the French captain, scoring in the 74th minute. So every game he's scored in, he's scored twice. Opener against Senegal, he scored 2. Game number 2 against Iraq, he scored 2. And today he scored 2 again. Incredible record from Kylian Mbappe. France win the ball back near halfway. Mateta's trying to carry it forwards. He's run into a wall of yellow in front of him. Sweden dispossess and reclaim. After we've gone through the first minute of injury time, the additional 4 that have been added on. Sweden on the right side with Gustav Nilsson, who's just come on for his first World Cup appearance. 29-year-old striker from Club Brugge in Belgium, all thrown in by France.
Jordan, if you're a Swedish supporter or, you know, in their media or whatever, how would you surmise the World Cup for them?
Doué ball into the back post. Mateta's left foot just couldn't wrap around it. Got underneath it and sent it into the crowd. Just sat up for him a bit too high, Jean-Philippe Mateta.
He didn't it? Hey, Mateta. Yeah, how would you sum up as Adam Peacock walks into the room? Good morning, Adam. Good morning from Jordan too.
Hello, Adzi.
Morning all here for the postgame.
How would I think you'd be stoked that you got here, I reckon.
Yeah,
as we spoke.
Come last in your qualifying group, right? And then you got through to the knockout stage.
I think you'd have to be happy. You knew that, given your bad fortunes during qualifying and how bad they were, and then having to get the second chance, got lucky, knowing that you're going to play France in the round of 32. I think this is probably about where they might have exceeded expectations, in all honesty, but they'd be happy with it.
I think so. Especially the group they were in as well. You know, Netherlands, Morocco themselves. Obviously, the third place sort of thing has helped them.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Zanelli nearly played in behind. Yeah, I think they'd be all right with this. I think Sweden.
There you go again. France 3 versus 3.
Can it be a 4th goal here for France? Carrying it forward is Hernandez. He's got Doué to the right. And he tried to, in fact, it was Cherky passing it forward. And it just came off the heel of a Swedish defender.
Try to thread it through. He comes, your man Ali, who's been excellent since he's come on. He's the future.
By Cherky.
They should be looking at him and say he's the future of our football. Yeah?
Yeah, he provides. He's a hidden gem. He's only ever played in Sweden, so the rest of the world are just finding out about Taha Ali at this World Cup. Down to the last minute of play here in this round of 32 clash. France on the way to the round of 16. The 3rd goal killed the game well and truly. Sweden will try and hunt a late consolation. And try and shift it out to the right. Swung in on the left boot. Looking for the tall target of Nilsson, who's a towering figure inside the 18-yard box. His header is directed wide. It's out to Elanga. Shot on the angle is an easy one for Mike Magnon. Stings the palms off the attempt from Svanberg and goes out of play for a throw.
Mike with the late 2 saves. You're walking off saying to Didier, hey, huh? You going to bow to me like Kylian, huh? There it is.
Full time at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, and France, another swashbuckling performance from the French national team. Another brace for Kylian Mbappe, and another comprehensive and impressive victory from Les Bleus. The team who are looking to win their 3rd World Cup in their history and try and make a 3rd final in consecutive World Cups have got through, keeping a clean sheet today and scoring 3 goals at full time in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It ends France 3, Sweden 0. Jordan Canellis and Mark Bosnich with you here for Valvoline, the original engine oil. And Bozza, we were treated to another impressive display of French football today.
Absolutely superb. Could have easily been more if it wasn't for Zetterstrom in the goal for Sweden, and some you have to say bad luck. I mean, how many times did they hit the post? I lost count. But wonderful overall performance. That man there, again, we send our deepest sympathies to himself and his family for the loss of his mother. Very, very happy, and I would be as well. Commiserations to Sweden. That's why I asked you that question right at the end. They did well in the end to get here and to get past the group stage. But France, most impressive team thus far in the World Cup, in my opinion. Wonderful to watch. Can play either way. They're comfortable. They had the majority of possession today, but they can play on the break, as we saw. They won the World Cup in 2018 with only about 42%, I think, average possession. There's Graham Potter. You go back to the drawing board. But he's seen the light in terms of that young boy, your mate, yeah?
Ali,
yeah. I think he's the future.
He's the future.
Yeah, he's the future. And they're going to start building now for the Euros in a couple years' time, because they've got some excellent players. Elanga, Alexander Isak, Gyökeres, Ali, Bergvall. So they should be using that tournament to really accentuate the fact that they've got some talented players and start playing to their strengths.
I don't know what the contract is for Graham Potter in his role as the coach of Sweden, but I think they'd want to keep him on for the dip at the Euros.
I think so. Well, he came in for like you said, for the playoffs and done marvellous, really.
Yeah.
Really, they come last in their group. It was only because of the coefficient points that they gained through the European Nations League that they had the opportunity to go into those playoffs and got them here. And yeah, they got pumped 5-1 by the Netherlands. That's okay, but to get pumped 5-1 and then still go through, proceed to the next round. Although a lot of people say, yeah, but it was third place this time. Okay, but still, it is, I think, all that they can expect. But this team here we're watching, and their fans, this blue team, their expectation is a little bit different and much higher.
France will take on Paraguay on the 5th of July. This is Australian time, 5th of July, 7 a.m. In that same quarter of the knockout bracket is Canada and Morocco as well. So the winners of those two games play each other in the quarters. So it's, with no disrespect to Paraguay and Canada, the consensus favourites is France will meet Morocco in the quarterfinals, which is going to be a delightful matchup to watch. But yeah, that's they would be the team expecting to be the dominant force in this part of the draw now.
Yeah, 100%. And, last semi-finals in Qatar was France versus Morocco. Morocco are a good side. Play at a wonderful speed, good fitness. And, they got some excellent players, as we saw yesterday as well. And like I said, a replay of the 2022 semi-final. I think France will be meeting Spain in the semi-final on that side of the draw. And on the other side of the draw, I think it'll be Brazil versus Argentina.
Imagine that. Brazil versus Argentina. I don't think they've ever met each other at the World Cup. So we are...
They have. Brazil, Argentina, yes, they have, yeah.
Have they?
Yeah, and 1982 as well. There was no sort of... There was a second group stage, and that was the famous game where Maradona actually got sent off because he basically put he basically sliced one of the Brazilian players in half out of frustration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Probably before yourself and others were born, but the Bozo, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, before my time.
Yeah, just a wee bit, that's all.
We will be calling that France-Paraguay game as well, so there'll be more French football coming your way on SEN in about 5 days from now. As the Swedish fans make their way over to their end of the New Jersey venue where their fans have made the trek out. Very long faces there for the